So 4 after 6 with your boy Shugs in the building, just playing with the dials. Back in the day we used to say the gremlins are in the building, like there was these little animals playing around with the equipment, but no, just sorting out the levels. So if you've just joined, you've missed the first hour, where have you been? Go and sit on the naughty step. Remember, this is Sunday School in the shape of the 90% old school show. Now, I've been saying all along, throughout the duration of the first hour of the 90% old school show, I said this week I'm going to be in conversation with my man Amo, CEO of You-Niquetraining, who has an absolute phenomenal story where simply I can only describe it as sometimes just saying, you know, I will not be beaten. I will not be beaten. See, I come from an African household, right? And anytime as a kid when I was growing up, yeah, if I was like, I don't know, building Lego or trying to fix my bike or, I don't know, trying to do kick-ups as, you know, football, anything that was, you know, challenging, anything that was a skill that I had to learn. And my dad used to come up to me and he'd say, is it beating you? Is it beating you? Is this thing beating you? You know what I mean? And it was like, I was like, no, I'm still going to try. He said, don't let it beat you. Don't let it beat you. And it was just basically, yeah, him saying that, you know, you've got a challenge in front of you, yeah. Are you going to let that challenge win or are you going to overcome? Which leads me nicely onto the gentleman that I'm just about to introduce, because he's had to overcome some challenges where the average individual would have just rolled over and died. They would have rolled over or just took a seat on the pity potty. But he said no to that, yeah. And I'm about to bring him in. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the world, yeah, on the Beat London, it gives me great pleasure to welcome my man Amo from You-Niquetraining, man. Good evening, sir.
Evening. Thank you very much for letting me come on the show. Evening, guys, wherever you're watching from, whether you're live on my TikTok, whether you're watching on the radio, where you're listening on the radio, sorry. Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Shugs. It's a pleasure.
No, thank you. Thank you, because it's not often that I even get a chance to speak to someone who's faced such challenges as yourself, and you know, have overcome them in true style, even with a smile on your face sometimes. Now, and we'll be getting into it. I don't even know if the hour that we've got is even going to be enough. You might even have to roll over. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. Anyway, right. So for anybody that doesn't know you, yeah, if this is the first time, let's just say an alien's just dropped out of space, yeah, because I know you got your following on TikTok, but excluding them, yeah, if an alien just fell onto Earth now and they would ask, who is this Amo gentleman? What is You-Niquetraining? Yeah, in a nutshell, just a brief description of who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, fantastic. So my name is You-Niquetraining, aka Amo. The reason why I've called You-Niquetraining is because I was told at a very young age, or should I say my parents were told at a very young age, that I would never ever be able to walk again. I was diagnosed with something called cerebral palsy, or they call it CP. I was told I'll have to stay in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. And we'll go into a little bit more detail of how I got to where I got to, but in a nutshell, like you said, I'm now walking with crutches. I was also told at later stages of my life, I may not be able to have children. By the grace of God, I've not got one, I've not got two, I've got three beautiful children.
And I can confirm, because I know his children, and they are absolutely gorgeous, if I do say so myself. Little nuggets of human beings, man, little human beings that this man has created. So, I mean, how did you feel? I mean, obviously your parents, you're a kid, yeah, so there's certain things that you're not going to remember. Obviously it's what your mum's told you, what your dad's told you, yeah, and they said that you'll never walk again, yeah. When was the moment where you just said, you know what, I'm sticking two fingers up at what the doctors are saying, yeah, they can go and take a long run off a short pier, yeah. When was that moment? Can you remember the age you were where you just said, you know what, you know, there's certain language that I have to refrain because, you know, we're Ofcom regulated. But you
Yeah.
can imagine the colourful language, yeah, that I would like to use with you sticking your two fingers up at medicine to say that I'm not going to be in a wheelchair and I'm going to walk in some shape or form.
Well, to be fair, it's only when I realised what's actually happened, because like you said, I was pretty young. So it wasn't until like when I was young, I was put into a special needs school in inverted commas, where I got a lot of support. I got one-on-one support, and it's only when you turn into your teenage days, as they say in brackets, and I thought, you know what, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I was in a wheelchair
Yeah.
for quite a length of time, which was quite frustrating because it was limiting me in terms of what I could do. In terms of what I could do, and it was very, very frustrating, more so. So it's got to the stage where I saw someone walk past me, and they had crutches. At that age, I kind of knew what they were, but I wasn't entirely sure. And also, besides the school that I was in, there was a mainstream school, and I remember you looking over the barrier, and people used to play football. Some of them used to play basketball. Some of my friends that are tuning in now went to the same high school as me, and they used to play basketball. And I thought, you know what, I really want to do that. I really want to do that. So I got to a stage where I used to cry. Then I say, no, I want to go in there. I want to push to go into the mainstream school. Got there. I'll be honest with you, I got bullied. I got bullied for, I would say, not 1, not 2, 3 years maybe. But I also that made me the man that I am today, and the people that I hang about with. So going back to your question, I would say from around about the age of 10, 11 maybe.
Okay, so you got bullied.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that bullying?
Again, we've got to be very careful in terms of what we say on radio,
Yeah.
in your words. So yeah, it was a case of where I stood up for myself. You know what I mean? By that time, I was quite popular in school.
So you had some support.
Yeah.
What school was that? Was that primary school, secondary school?
That was secondary school. And
What was your secondary school?
What was it was Wolford High School in Norfolk.
Shouts going out to all the cats at Wolford High School. Yeah, that supported my man Amo. I do believe you went. Did you go to school with Chucky?
Yeah.
Shouts going out to Chucky Online. Yeah. A former presenter right here on the Beat London 103.6 doing mad stuff with his slow jams and R&B. So Chucky went to your school, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's R&B slow jams, dude. Yeah, my bridges. Anyway, yeah, carry on. Sorry, I slightly digress.
Yeah, so I got a lot of support. Not shy to say most of it's from female support. Must be the aftershave. So yeah, I got a lot of support from the guys, and so the people that I'm with now, I still know them from all these years. Which brings us on to the next bit of how me and you potentially met.
Okay, you're going there, are you?
Let's do it.
All right, so where do you know Shugs from?
Shugs, he was one of the best managers for one of my first jobs in one of very, very well known retail.
Before we even get into your workplace, before we even get into the workplace, how do you approach an employer, from a disability perspective?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question. Actually, is because it was very hard for me to get a job in the industry because of my disability, because of the people didn't know how to cope with it, didn't know how to adapt. So it was quite hard. So when I approached a big, well-known company that we used to work to, they saw what I did. If I remember correctly, you actually saw me walking into the building. And I don't know, we had a little bit of a conversation, you know how we do. And then this is where mine and your journey started from, to be fair.
Right, so basically I'll fill in the gaps. What Emma's referring to is when I used to work in a well-known mobile company, I mentioned it, Car Fund Warehouse, but we was at the head office. It used to be in Acton. So shouts going out to all my CPW crew that are probably tuning in to this show right now. And yes, Mr. Emma was placed in my team, placed in my team because they knew that at the end of the day, I would be the guy to help him rise to his greatness. And we're going to talk about how he went from strength to strength just after this track. And because we're talking about positivity, because we're talking about, we have no boundaries. The only person that is standing in your way is you. Yeah. So sometimes we just need to get out of the way of ourselves to progress in order for us to rise to our greatness. And I think a song that's kind of sums that up is the instrumental that I'm playing now, which is called "The Sky's the Limit." Because literally, this gentleman here had that approach, which is where he is, and reason why he's on this station right now. Let's go a little bit of Notorious B.I.G. We'll come back in conversation with my man Amo from You-Nique.
Right now, this is
Beat London 103.6 FM.
So your boy Shug's in the building, back in conversation with my man Amo from You-Niquetraining, 20 after 6 right here on the Beat London on 103.6, baby. So the conversation, I'm gonna get my words all tied up. The conversation continues. So where were we? So you're this gentleman, yeah. You walk into Carphone Warehouse. This big black guy comes up to you, yeah, and you're told that, yeah, you're in his team, yeah, you're in his team, and yeah, his team. He's gonna be looking after you. Obviously, you've got a disability, yeah. What's your next move? What's the first thing that goes through your head?
Wait, we need to rewind this a little bit.
Go on.
The reason why they put me in your team,
Yeah,
because they knew that there's a little bit of a problematic child right here. So
remember, he said that, I didn't.
no, let's keep it real. That's what we're here for. They knew that, listen, he's a bit problematic because in the interview, they saw a few traits. You know what I mean? I never had no tattoos then, but they knew the way he's coming across, he needs to be in the school of hard knocks.
As they say,
Yeah.
as they say in one of those Biggie Smalls boys, his Biggie Smalls record is gonna be a bad boy. No, but to be fair, I was his manager, but no, it was obviously it was some different skills I had to use. Let's just say some different managerial skills I'd have to use. But what it enabled me to do is grow my perspective on how to deal with individuals. So it was almost like a quid pro quo situation where I was helping, supporting him. He was broadening my horizons, how to manage a whole multitude of different individuals. So we're in a team, and was there any challenges in terms of you getting around the building?
No, hell no, because at the beginning, like you said, I was even actually put next to you, if you remember correctly. Yeah. You was my right arm, right hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We used to sit side by side. So when you first went there, you asked me, is there any challenges? And getting onto that, it wasn't actually the building. Every day's a challenge for me, Shugs, you know what I mean? I wake
like
up.
What would be your everyday challenge? What's a normal day in the life of Amo?
Yeah, well, sometimes I wake up in the morning, I feel a little bit stiff. Is there any pain with me? No, there isn't. It's just stiffness. And when you feel a little bit lazy, but you just have to get yourself motivated, and you feel, okay, this is what I need to do now. It's the time, you know what I mean? So,
but typically describe, because what an able-bodied person does on a daily basis, we somewhat take it for granted. Yeah. Like a simple thing like walking upstairs, for example. Yeah, how challenges is that? Moving around London. Yeah, forget about the workplace. Moving just around London, moving up and down, dealing with your children. What's that day like?
So typical day is alarm goes off 6:50. I have to get myself out before I can get the kids out. Get myself sorted. Try and get them out of bed. Get their toothbrush done. Get them washed up. Take them downstairs. Get them clothed. One thing I had to do, what I had to do, and we'll go on to a little bit more. I had a life event, so I had to change certain things. So I have to think about how I'm going to get the food onto the table. So I had to figure out a way. Some days it's harder than others. But by the grace of God, my children are very clever. They know what's happening with daddy.
How old are your kids?
My boy is 4. Actually, start again. My oldest is 21, but she's in uni.
Right.
My boy is 4, and my daughter is 6. I only have to look after them, but occasionally you've got to look after the 21-year-old. You know, you know how we do. Yeah. So getting them clothed, getting them fed, and then getting them.
Is that challenging? Just moving around the house.
Moving around the house, and they were asking me to come here, come there, and
picking them up.
Exactly, sitting down sometimes, just about sit down. Dad, come here and do this. I feel, I've just got up, you know, why didn't you tell me then? But it's just one of them things. And then get them in the car, thanks to Granny, big up Granny. Granny takes them to school with me. I have to get out the car, get them into school, get back in the car, and then that's when my day starts.
Right. Okay, so every day is a challenge. Every day activity, yeah, for your normal, with your, I suppose, your regular able-bodied person walking up the stairs, picking up your child, reaching for something on the top shelf, something that's fallen down. Obviously, you're 24/7. You're on crutches.
Yeah.
So things that the majority of people take for granted, yeah, you obviously have found a way to overcome that and still come. And one thing I will say about this gentleman, he makes no excuses for nothing, and never, I've known him for quite some time now, and he's seldom to sit on the pity potty, never. Quite the opposite. Even sometimes when he's offered help, he'll say no. He'll, you know, choose another particular route. Okay, fine. So that's your daily schedule.
Yeah.
So you leave Carphone Warehouse, yeah. We lose contact for a bit. Actually, no, we don't. We sort of like touch base every now and then. Yeah. Where does I've been talking about this unique training, yeah, for I don't know, best part of an hour. Yeah. A first part. Where did unique training come from?
It came.
What is unique training?
Unique training is something that I've created it for the fact that to help people, not only who's disabled, people who are able, people who don't have the confidence, don't have the motivation, feel that they're not good enough to go into a gym, people that don't have equipment to go and buy the equipment, I help them there. So for example, if someone...
Is this disabled, sorry to jump in there, is this disabled people? Is it, what sort of clientele are you do you aim your services at?
So it's a very broad horizon. Like I said, sometimes people come to me just for motivation, for me to speak to them.
So just from a verbal perspective,
they come. If they can't get to me, we're online. We're talking.
Okay.
So also
almost counselling to a degree.
Because they see what I can do.
Right.
They say that I'm an inspiration to them.
Okay.
I have people that don't have equipment, can't hold equipment. So
Right.
some of my videos, if you was to go onto my socials, you'll be able to see that I'm using a simple towel.
Right.
Yeah, a simple towel. People can use a towel and still get the same effectiveness.
Okay.
As opposed to lifting up a dumbbell, they're lifting up a ball, but it's still doing something for them. Do you know what I mean? So that's the whole point of unique training. It's the name says it itself. It's unique. I adapt to every single person. Any of my clients are never the same.
Right.
So I might get somebody that can just lift their left arm or can just open their palm a little bit, and I think of things to adapt.
So some innovative techniques, in order to suit almost like a bespoke fitness program.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a PT myself, and it's all about making programs for various different people because they got various different goals.
Yeah.
But what you do is even take it to another level, whereby you're making a bespoke program for potentially someone with a disability, and finding new ways in order to strengthen their body. Would that surmise what you do?
And even when I train in able-bodied people, I make them sit exactly the way I'm sitting, so they're in my shoes as opposed to me being in theirs, so they can understand the perspective. So when they're then training like that, so then they're not, okay, this is the reason why you're training the way you're training. Then I let them train their way. 9 times out of 10 they say, you know what, your way is better, it's more effective, let's do it your way. So I know it's working. It's a win-win.
Talking about inspiration, this instrumental that I'm playing, is a favorite of yours. This particular song is a song you train with sometimes when
Remind me.
All right, let me.
If it's the one I think it is, it's to a very, very special person that's actually locked in to my social right now. I think, is it the one from Zeus?
You are correct.
Yeah.
But you know your boy Shugs in the building likes to flip things.
Yeah, 100.
So I'm going to give you my version of Zeus. Yeah.
No problem.
All right.
No problem.
So this is called Strong Man. You know what I mean? Quite appropriately entitled, because that's what my man Ammo is, and obviously inspiring everybody to be strong. So let's flip the script in true 90% old school show style and go a little something like this. So back on the other side, just gone 6:30 right here on the Beat London 103.6 in conversation. If you're just locked in, I'm in conversation with CEO of Youniquetraining, my man, Mr. Amo, right in the building. So you've decided, not only to overcome your own personal challenges, with the disability that you have. You say, no, I'm not going to be sitting in a wheelchair, I'm going to be walking. They say that you're not going to have kids. You tell them, as a Jamaican would say, cha, man, I hear that. And you overcome that. You overcome that challenge. Not content with that. You said you start to inspire, and it's a growing community that you have on TikTok. If you want to give this guy a follow and know a little bit more about him, it's Youniquetraining on TikTok. So that's Y-O-U, spelled in a normal way. Then it's a hyphen, and Nique, spelled N-I-Q-U-E.
Yeah, no hyphen, no hyphen.
Oh, no hyphen. All right.
On the YT, there's a hyphen.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I stand corrected.
No problem.
So go give him a follow. So not content with training yourself, not only did you say you're going to walk, you start training yourself. Yeah, you got a gym in your own house.
Yes.
Right, so you start flinging the dumbbells around the house.
Right. Breaking a couple things.
Breaking a couple of things as you do. But not content with that, you say, no, even that's not enough. Because now you want to inspire. You want to inspire, you want to motivate, you want to invigorate others that are probably facing the same challenges as yourself. Maybe worse, maybe less, and whatnot. But you give out you go out blanket support. You're doing your lives. I've jumped in on some of your lives on TikTok. And like I said, it's a growing community. But to really certify yourself, you undergo a personal training course. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I obviously I was doing what I was doing, and I had to be very careful in what I was saying because I wasn't qualified. So then I thought, you know what, for me to do this correctly, I'm gonna have to do it the right way. And another challenge, some disabilities you can't see. My one you can, but I'm also dyslexic. But I had to do a personal training course, and that was very intense. They give you 2 years to do the course. I done it in 2 weeks, just because of the fact that I wanted to get out there.
Are you a brain box?
No.
Are you a brain box?
No.
You have taken someone would take 2 years. You have done it in 2 weeks.
And I had to face challenges. Had to get equipment. Had to get software to help me read, do what I'm doing. But the reason why I pushed for it is because there was no time to waste. As you know, like I said, I've had a life event. But we'll talk about it again. Time is not on my side. Do you know what I mean? And I had to get on with it. There's loads of people out there that is probably listening to me now, thinking if he can do it, we can do it. And I just think I wanted to give as much help as I can to people. All of a sudden, I've started to do this. My community on TikTok's grown. Am I taking any money from this? No. All about it is for me to help people right now. The money will come eventually.
So I'm going to give him his flowers because his vocation that he's chose is a man after my own heart. Because, like I've said many a time on this show, that obviously I'm a qualified PT. I take classes. Everybody comes down to Fit Lab in Alperton, my class, Monday 7:15, punch, lift and sit. I know what it takes to get that qualification. The level 3, the nutrition side of things. I know what it takes to do that. So for you to do that with everything else that's going on, to do that, obviously, I salute you.
Thank you, sir.
I've said in the past, just on a footnote, let me just, once again, anybody that wants to have any form of questions for Mr. Amo, the all-important number is 0208 963 9566. That number again, 0208 963 9566. If you want to go live, let us know, and you can we can have some conversation. There may be someone out there listening that's in a similar situation. There may be people out there that perhaps want to do this a similar thing, maybe collaborate or what have you. But that's that number if you want to have a conversation. No problem. We'll be giving out in fact, let's do it now. Where can people find you on the socials?
Find me on my YT, which is YouTube. Find me on which is
what's the
it's YOU-NIQUE.
that's on YouTube.
Yeah, training, and then you'll be able to see me there. Also on my TikTok, which is You-Nique-Training, all one word. You'll be able to find me there. If you log on now, you'll be able to see me live. Give me a follow, I'll follow you back straight afterwards. On my Instagram, same again, You-Nique-Training, all one word, and you'll be able to find me. Same with Facebook. Whatever platform you choose, you want to get in touch, you need to have a chat, you want to have a little little exercise, reach out to me and I'll get back to you.
Okay, there you have it. My man Amo, You-Nique-Training. Now, I mentioned earlier that, and even in my reels advertising this interview earlier in the week, I said there's been the highs, there's been some lows. What's been the most challenging situation to date?
Okay. There has been a few, but I think the biggest one was where I lost my wife in May this year. Late May last year, should I say. Yeah. Unfortunately, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, but the fighter she managed to smash it and beat that. And then few months down the line, she was complaining about back pain. We took her to the general hospital. They said, yeah, they done scans, and they said, it's a slip disc, you'll be fine. Going back to the hospital again, gave her an epidural, gave her a CT guided ejection, took her back to the professor who dealt with her. Yeah, he gave me a letter to say, yeah, this is nothing to do with cancer or anything like that. Fast forward in a few months, coming like December, January time, she started falling, collapsing. They said, yeah, it's because of the fact that she's having radiotherapy. Again, the fighter she was telling me, no, I'm going to be fine. And it's only when we went to Charing Cross, come February, at the beginning of March, they hit me with the news that she had stage 4 cancer in her brain and spine.
Heart-crushing news that must have been for you. So, is there a point in your life whereby you say to yourself, I was born with this disability, cerebral palsy. I've overcome that. They said I wasn't going to be able to walk. They said I wasn't going to have this. I found this beautiful wife who's my rock.
100.
Yeah, my right-hand person. And, you know, obviously I've seen you two together. Yeah, I've seen you two together. Yeah, and, you know, it was two peas in a pod. It's your proper Bonnie and Clyde. So you have this person and you're making it work. You have these two beautiful children. Yeah.
Free.
So, sorry, I stand correct. You have these 3 beautiful children, and I talk from personal experience because I've come to your family functions. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, your world goes dark because your rock, your person, your soulmate is just being ripped from you.
Yeah.
On top of all the other things that you've had to deal with in life, is there a moment where you look up to the sky and say, enough? You know,
100.
what more must I take? I mean, there is a saying, they say, you know, what don't kill you make you stronger. But, you know, in this particular situation, how did you deal with that? And then even have the strength to not only to continue, but to obviously inspire others?
The reality of the situation is, Shugs, I didn't deal with it. But the fact is, see what's in my genes.
Well, you are, because you're here.
Yeah, no, but what's in my genes and what's in my blood, and I've got no choice. I've come through so much, and I know that she's watching over me, and I've got to do it for the kids. So, like, to be fair, I'm still grieving. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? We had all the special functions, Christmas and Diwali, and I didn't want to do none of that. But I knew that, you know what, the kind of person you are, your name's Ammo for a reason. You got ammunition. Let's do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't stop. Although I want to stop, I can't, because that's who I am, and that's how I've been built. And I will continue to do that. So anyone out there that thinks that you can't do something, let me tell you, you can. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing that's going to stop you from doing it. If I can do it, anyone that's listening, trust me, you can definitely do it. Put your heart and soul into it, and you'll definitely do it.
Which is what was leading on to sort of like my next question. If there's, you know, people in not necessarily exactly the situation that you're in, but are dealing with a disability, are dealing with grief, are dealing with bereavements, what do you tell that person? You know, what do you tell that person? How do you encourage them to get out of bed every morning?
Well, at the end of the day, the way you've got to look at it, thanks to God that you're still living, and all that, like I say to you, in order to be different, you got to dare to make a difference. You know what I mean? So what I would say to that person is, when you feel down, remember this: never ever give up, because one day you'll never know why it's happened, but one day you will, and you'll understand the reason why, and things can only get better, not worse.
Well, you know, I couldn't have put it any better myself. Some absolute it's a gut-wrenching story, and I just admire you. I give you your flowers. Yeah. In fact, I'm giving you bouquets. In fact, I'm giving you the whole flower shop. You know what I mean? You're even making my throat croak. In terms of your stories and your strength, there's a particular song that you've requested by Leanne Louise. And we're going to play, it's this song that, obviously I've been playing the instrumental, but it's a song that it talks about growing up.
Yeah, and never giving up.
Right, okay, and we're going to get into that right now, because I'm choking up, Amo's choking up, and we're sounding like two wet fishes here, you know what I mean? So we're going to wipe our nose and eyes, and we'll be back in just a few moments after this one. This is Leanne Louise, and it's called Growing Up. Right, Amo, we're almost out of time, and I still got to play one of your songs, but I'll probably do that after the break. Any final thoughts?
No, I just want to say I hope I've been an inspiration to everybody.
Well, it definitely was to Tom.
Thank you. Yeah, I know. Tom, you need to call back in again, mate. We lost you. We lost you, fella.
Give the studio a call back. We still need to get some final details of you. Okay, so that one important number one, once again, 0208 963 9566. So again, 0208 963 9566. Any final thoughts?
No, I just wanted to say, look, thank you to everyone that's listened. I hope I'm an inspiration to someone out there. My aim was to come on here, even if I can change one person's life, I've done my goal. Yeah, you know how to find me. I've told you, find me on TikTok. Youniquetraining, spelled YOUNIQUE training. That's on TikTok. Find me on Facebook. Find me on YouTube. Find me on Insta. Get hold of me, and I definitely will get back to you, I promise. Finally, you asked me about shout-outs. First of all, to my mum, who brought me in, to my family, who supported me, to all my friends, to all my mods, to my TikTok family, and the most biggest one is to you, sir, for giving me the time, the opportunity to come into your studio.
No, don't thank that.
You know what I mean?
I don't want your thanks. You make me cry. You know, it takes a lot. It takes
Listen,
a lot,
guys. I know
to get me tearful.
Some of you can see this guy. He's by no means is this guy small. You know, he's a big guy. Trust me. And for me to make him cry without even touching him, that's done something. I've got something there. So, and this guy does not cry for love nor money.
No, I don't.
Trust me. And I've known this guy. We haven't even told people. We only needed 20 years plus, Shugs.
Yeah.
That's big. We're giving our ages away here right now. Do you know what I mean? But we don't look it, so it's all good.
It really is.
But thank you so much, and
you're most welcome. In just under a minute, what does the future hold for Amo and Youniquetraining?
Well, this is just the beginning, guys. So the future is this: helping as many people as I can, often as I can. One day, and I will get there, we're going to be opening a Youniquetraining gym. And every single one of you listening on here, following my socials, most welcome to come in and have a train. In that case, if anyone wants to have a little workout with me, drop me a space. Watch this space. Let's do this.
So there you have it. Right at the beginning of this interview, I played Sky's the Limit. That statement does not apply to Amo, because the sky is not the limit. Yeah, he is going from strength to strength. Follow his story. I will be. Younique Training on TikTok and on YouTube. It's been a compelling story. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in the studio. Let's do it again sometime.
100. Thank you. Good night. God bless everybody.